modeled after, I think, a 13th century corona. And on the outside of it, we will paint icons. It's a bit of a bone of contention at the present time. If Bogdan Tversky is listening to this video at some point, these icons are long overdue. But what will be seen on that are the days of creation. The seventh day will be a cosmological icon. It will show something from all of the days. It will not be God lying on a couch. And on this side will be the icon of the Anastasis, the icon of the resurrection, in which Christ is lifting up Adam and Eve, the recreation of everything. So that's what the program will be on this. And on the inside, we will put brass crosses. Sometimes people do put, it's quite customary to put, if you have 12 of these, to put 12 apostles on the outside and 12 prophets on the inside. But I'm trying to emphasize in the program the cosmological, because we already have the prophets in the drama, the Iconostasis. The Iconostasis originally was a horizontal bar, and then this type of balustrade, and everything else was open. And as time went on, icons that were movable, portable icons, because icons were carried through the streets in processions. The icons became attached to pillars, and then eventually they moved into the spaces. A typical iconostasis in a Greek church, it simply means icon stand. That's all that word means. It's just a stand. Stasis, just stand. A Greek church would usually have this local row and maybe the next row of the festal row of icons. In the log churches, there are very few of them that are painted on the walls because of logs. It's more difficult to paint on them. So the programming from the walls moved on to the iconostasis. And when you see these iconostases that are 5-story tiers in height, that is because it's something that's moved from some other place of the church onto it. You can't get everything, because you can't put it there, you put it here. This certainly takes off in Ukraine and Russia from the 14th century onward. The doors the center doors are known as the holy doors. You will often see in books called the royal doors. These doors, the north door, the south door, are often referred to as the deacon's doors, because the deacons, you will see this evening, the deacon comes out this door, stands here on the ambo. The ambo was originally in the center of the church and was up quite high, and then you'll go back into that door. And we always make our processions in this fashion. So you want to know why St. Roman, the sweet singer, is on that door, and why St. Ephraim, the Syrian, is on this door. Is that why? You want to know why these particular figures are chosen for the doors?
Yeah, so I've usually seen, it's always been Raphael and Michael.
You will see archangels, and you will also see more commonly known deacons, such as Stephen and Lawrence. They will be in the sanctuary, Stephen and Lawrence. And we have many angels, as you can see, in the dome. So the decision was made to put on deacons that are not as well known. Okay? Well, St. Ephraim the Syrian has here, Lord, grant that I may see my own sins and not to judge my brethren. And this is a prayer that we say during all of the weekdays of Lent, many times, and make a prostration. That's the last part of the prayer. You've heard of St. Ephraim the Syrian, doctor of the church, heart of the Holy Spirit, first writer of the hymns to the Theotokos. Read St. Ephraim. All of these people are Semites on this row. None of them are anything but Semites. Of course, Jesus and his mother. St. Nicholas, Archbishop of Myra, is in Lycia. Ephraim, who's a Syrian. Basil the Great. John Chrysostom from Antioch. St. Roman, the sweet singer, the melody. He has here part of the Christmas hymn. Today, the Virgin gives birth to the transcendent one. It's part of the Christmas Cantatia, and he was a great writer also of hymns, also from Syria, and the patron of the church, the holy prophet Elias. I think you probably would say Elijah, but I tend to say Elias in this place. I mentioned attributes, like the cross also, and the cross in the nimbus is always found on Christ. You will not find it in any other type of icon. When you look at a nimbus here or here, you don't find the cross. It's proper to write on the icon who it is, so that icons are not left guessing.
Generally speaking, are only holy names abbreviated?
You could, what do you mean by a holy name?
Well, Jesus Christ.
You could abbreviate, like here saint is abbreviated, but
Okay.
not the name itself. But if it was a very common name that people would know, then you could abbreviate it.
Mm-hmm.
This is very common both in Greek and in Church Slavonic to abbreviate things. Just as it is in Latin manuscripts to abbreviate. Just saves the writer from writing everything out. You could put the whole name on if you wanted. It doesn't have to. But you are really required to show the names.